Good afternoon, everybody, or good morning, or good evening. Don't know when you're watching this video. In this video, I want to explain to you how to read a graphic properly. So here you see the graph, the production graph of the LayerGenius app. In the top, it says the title, so it says rate of lay, hen day, egg weight, body weight, and cumulative mortality. I find cumulative a difficult word, so I try to pronounce it well. So that actually is also what is shown in this video here. In this graph here, you see a graph on production, rate of lay or hen day, production, egg weight, body weight, and cumulative mortality. So what do you see in this graph? In the bottom, on the far bottom, you see the agenda, and you see solid lines and dotted lines. The dotted lines are the standards, the norm, and the solid lines are the what you have actually reached with your flock. So if the solid line is above the dotted line, you're doing better than the standard. If the solid line is below the dotted line, then you're doing less good than the standard, except for mortality. Mortality, the red line in this case, you want to have below the dotted line, and you can see in this graph that it actually is far above. Now here in the bottom of the graph, you see the weeks, 16, 26, 36, 46, etc., all the way to 96. And the end is probably 100 because I have the graph stopped at 100 weeks of age. So this is the age of the birds. On the left side, you see 0, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120. This is the axis, the y-axis on the left that represents the rate of lay and the grams of egg weight, and actually also the cumulative mortality. On the right y-axis, you see the body weight in grams. So 0, 500, 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, 2,500. That one is for the orange line, which is the body weight, which you see over here. So we have the weeks, we have the body weight in grams to one side, and we have the rate of lay, gram egg weight, and cumulative mortality on the left side represented. And then you see the lines in the graph showing what is what. So the blue line here, the solid blue line, is the production. The dotted blue line is what the production could be, or maybe should be. The orange dotted line is what the body weight should be, and the solid orange line is what the body weight actually is. The same goes here for egg weight, which is a bit lower than the norm, and the red dotted line and the red solid line are the cumulative mortality. The three gray with yellow surrounded patches here are buttons that you can click on. If I click on rearing, you only get to see the rearing period, so you see the graph shift. Now it only says cumulative mortality on the left and body weight on the right. And you see that the weeks shift from 0 to 20, which is the rearing period. And actually only represented here at this point is the body weight and the cumulative mortality. There is no feed intake data here, which is a bit strange, but it's probably because there is no feed intake data in the data which represents this graph. If I click on production, we get back to the graph that we had before. No, of course, there's no feed intake data here because this is body weight cumulative mortality graph now. And now we get to the body weight, the production period, and I can also click on the total, which then you see that the graph shifts. Look at this. It shifts from 20 to 0. So you also see the body weight, the body weight graph from the start of the flock progressing into production, and you see that the body weight has been below the standard continuously. If I go to the next graph, graph number 2, which is body weight and feed intake here, and now I go to rearing, then you see that the body weight development, orange one again, and the feed intake line, the black one compared to the dotted line, also in the graph. I can go to the production phase, and then it looks like this. And again, I can go to total, which gives you rearing plus production, body weight development, and feed intake development. And now it is nicely represented throughout the flock, how the feed intake and the body weight compare to each other. Actually, feed intake is not that bad in this graph, but the body weight is very bad. It's far below the standard. So in between feed intake and body weight is digestion. So the digestion of this flock probably hasn't been too great. Okay, I hope that this video helped you how to read graphs properly and that you've understood that. Otherwise, you can contact me for more additional information or questions that you have. Thank you very much for your attention to this video, and I hope it helped you.